Elevate Season 3 Demo Day. My name is Bessie, and together with my colleague Sian, we're going to be hosting the event today. Before we start, I would just like to ask you to check your phones, whether all of them are on silent, because as you can see, our participants are super excited for their pitches, but they're also understandably a little bit nervous. So we would greatly appreciate if your phones do not interrupt them. Thank you. We are very excited to see so many familiar faces here among us today in the auditorium, as well as online. This is a very exciting day for us, as this is the first on-ground demo day we're holding in the history of Elevate.
2009, when the program was founded. So Elevate is the first university accelerator on the Balkans. It was, ever since the beginning, it was created with the goal to improve and give more practical knowledge to the students and recent graduates at AUBG. We provide them with a place so they can implement what they've learned both in the university and throughout the program and test it out in the real world. I've been with the program since the beginning. Desi is with the program for 2 years, and this is our first year being managing directors together.
Marika, can I just ask you to click on the presentation so that I can switch the slides? Yes.
So,
yes, it's working now. Thank you.
When we were beginning first year, a bit of technical timeout. Nick Yanev always told us if you don't have any technical issues, this means that there is something bigger going on. So these are the technical difficulties that you would like to see. This is most towards the teams. So back on track, I would like to share with you a change that we've introduced this year into the program. So for the first time ever, the program gives the teams that get accepted into the program a grant so that they can test their idea and validate it. Up until this point today, from today on, the teams are going to have the chance to pitch their ideas in front of our jury for a chance to get an additional investment. Without any further ado, I would like to give the floor to AUBG's president, Dr. David Evans, who is going to share a couple of thoughts in regards to the program.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Stoyan. Thanks, Desi. Glad to welcome you all here. I was somewhat entertained, I will say, by the explosion of nervous energy happening out on the stairs over there a little bit ago. As you know, AUBG has a long record of educating some of the most successful entrepreneurs in Bulgaria. And a lot of you probably know that PayHawk down here, founded by AUBG alumni, just became the first unicorn in Bulgarian history, which is a very, very big deal for us and certainly for everybody who was involved in developing that product, which is great, and we actually use it for ourselves. I'm with Desi on this, being really excited about having the first live in-person demo day. As you know, the last couple of years have been somewhat hostile to live in-person events, so it's really great to see everybody here, and I'm very excited to see what people have developed. We're very grateful to all of our sponsors who've helped develop the funding and bring us the funding to support our young entrepreneurs. And I think that I know they're grateful to have the opportunity to engage in an educational way in a real world project. And so I'm just really excited to see everybody. I'm looking forward to the next unicorn coming out of one of these projects or one of the projects from the last couple of years. So congratulations to all the participants. I know it's been a long and challenging road just to get here. And I hope that you have a long and challenging and successful road ahead of you. Best wishes to all of you. Good luck.
We would also like to say a big thank you to 11 Ventures, without whom we would not have all the know-how of how to create the accelerator and to reach the phase we are currently right now. We will have them share a couple of thoughts later on.
Dr. Evans mentioned these names that you see down here, but I would also like to give a special thanks to all of the donors and to all of the supporters we have for the program, because without their support and without their donations, Elevate would not exist. So we would like to thank Business Creation, Melon, the Visa Innovation Program, Montway Auto Transport, Bayhawk, Kpis Capital, Dimitar Tuzorkov, and our individual alumni donors. Svetozar Georgiev, Ivo Tsenov, Georgi Petrov, Boyko Yaramov, George Manahilov, Martin Uzunov, and Nikolai Podkubkov. Without your support, we would not be able to help build the future leaders of tomorrow. So thank you very much, and let's give them a round of applause. And of course, I have to mention three very important people we have among us today, and those are our jury members. They will be the ones who have to make the important decision of how our investment fund this year will be allocated. So let me introduce to you Svetozar Georgiev, who is the co-founder of Telerik Academy and Kpis. Pavel Velkov, who is a managing partner in Morningside Hill Capital. And Georgi Petrov, who is a co-founder in SMS Bank. Not only are the three of them AUBG alumni, but they're also very close supporters of the Elevate program. So we have full trust that they're the right people to be making this decision today with us. The format today is going to be pretty simple. Each startup is going to have up to 4.5 minutes for their pitch, and then up to 5 minutes for questions from the jury. We'll have a timer, which is Venti. Yes, so Venti over here, we'll have our timer so that it is helpful for the startups and for us. So without further ado, we are ready to launch. The first team who will be presenting today is Unboxed, a clothing resale platform where individuals can extend the lifetime of fashion by selling their clothing online and buying secondhand pieces from others. So let's welcome Nicole and Unboxed.
Test. Hello everyone, my name is Nicole and today I will be presenting Unboxed. Growing up in the United States in the midst of American consumerism, I always knew that the clothes hanging in my closet could be given a second life by simply selling them online in various resale platforms. Moving back home to Bulgaria in 2018, I realized that's something that I could no longer do. And that's simply because there's no fashion-focused platform in Bulgaria where anyone can sell their clothes online or buy secondhand and receive 100% of their profits. So why does that affect us on a global level? Well, 85% of consumer textiles either end up in landfills or incinerated. And as you might already know, the fashion industry produces around 10% of global carbon emissions. So why keep throwing away clothes straight into the trash when you can simply join us in giving them a second life? And that's why my team is now on a mission to extend the lifetime of fashion. We introduce Unboxed. Unboxed is a clothing resale platform where individuals across Bulgaria can extend the lifetime of fashion by selling their clothes online and buying secondhand pieces from others. This is our current working website. This is not just a visual. Anyone in Bulgaria can currently list their items online and buy from others. So what do we give with extra value? Our users will be able to enjoy delivery notifications and checkpoint tracking with our integration of Rush. In addition, they will enjoy an authentication process for high-end and luxury items. Our rating and report system will ensure that users can leave ratings, reports, and open cases for any violations. In addition, our users will enjoy buyer and seller protection. So, what makes this unique from everyone else, you say? Well, the first thing that we'll be integrating is live stream shopping. Our users will be able to purchase clothes online directly from our live stream videos from our social media platforms. And in addition, this one is my favorite, our impact ranking system, where users will gain points every single time they buy or sell an item through our platform, calculating how much water or CO2 they have saved. Who are we catering to? We have our sellers and we have our buyers. Our sellers are individuals who want to sell clothing out of their closets, maybe earn some extra cash, and prefer to go green and extend the lifetime of fashion. Our buyers are users who prefer to shop secondhand and avoid fast fashion. In regards to our competitor analysis, we can see that OLX is not focused on clothing. Remix takes a large cut from sales. No limits who can sell and what can be sold. Facebook groups have very minimal visibility and they have no user protection. And last but not least, push focuses on the mass resale of brand new items. So now let's get to the numbers. In regards to our growth data, 780,000 is the number of females in Facebook resale groups based on clothing resale. You can see here for an example, a group that averages around 40,000 members grows with 300 new members every single week and averages 400 new clothing listings every single day, around 12,000 in 1 month. Our business model has 3 subscription options. You can get the 1-month option with 18 listings. Our 3-month option offers 70 listings, and our 1-year option offers unlimited listings. How will we get additional revenue? We will be including store profiles for sustainable and local brands, influencer live streams, and pop-ups. And of course, our first listing is free. Now, down to the expense breakdown. Our fixed costs for the first year are estimated to be around 34,000 lev. Looking at the financial forecast, if we target exactly only those 780,000 users on Facebook that are focused on clothing, and we grab 2% of the market, we get to around 16,000 users. If we estimate that around 10,000 of those users will be active subscribers on our platform, we will receive around $72,000 revenue from that 2% target. We expect to break even in around 10 months to 1 year. Our traction. To this day, we have held 2 pop-up sale events, where the first one was hosted at AUBG and the second one was in collaboration with our team Hangout. We've launched our MVP website. In less than 2 weeks, we have 34 active users, 115 listings, and we partnered with one brand that upcycles clothing. Our roadmap for the future is that we plan to continue development, launch our website, and iOS and Android apps. This is our wonderful team, and we partnered with Web Serotonin to deliver the website that you will see today. Join us in extending the lifetime of fashion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nicole. Now we are opening the floor for questions from the jury, so I'm going to give you the microphone.
This is my wonderful team. Vidisław and Mitko.
First of all, congratulations. Great idea and very good job in presentation. Tell me, for you, what is the biggest risk that you see in front of you that could derail this project?
I think that the biggest risk would be not being able to transfer our target market, which would be mainly initially the Facebook users, into active users on our website. And it's about finding the right balance between buyers and sellers, because no matter how many active seller profiles we have, if we don't have enough buyers to buy those items, then it wouldn't be a good balance for them.
How do you plan to balance this supply and demand?
Perfect. I'm giving that to you.
We already have many sellers on the platform and we need to target on the buyers right now. So we're going to provide some value proposition which are not found here in Bulgarian market. We're going to provide live stream shopping, which is going to be unique for Bulgaria. Also, we are going to have something like delivery traction on every point of the delivery for the items, which will be integrated with Rush. And we are going to have a pointing system where users can see how many points they get when buying or selling their boats and how much they contribute to the environment.
Yeah, congratulations first, because this was a done at a light speed, because I think that this was a full-scale presentation done in a time that's usually used for an elevator pitch. So it was a lot of information. I was just I know I can comprehend everything, so I have questions on that. But you are going to market this on Facebook. Is it?
Yeah, we're going to start with Facebook, Instagram ads, Google ads later, and we're going to use micro influencers because they have lower number of followers, but they're more niche, and their followers engage with their content.
Okay. And how are you going to? What is how are you going to approach the business model from a revenue generation standpoint? I saw that you're going to be charging the sellers.
Yes, so we will have subscription. I'm going to just click right back. there you go. This is our business model. So we kind of cater to 3 different types of sellers. We cater to a seller that might have less than 18 listings, so just a few items, and they can use the 1-month subscription. We have sellers like me that probably on one closet clean out every single season, I would have around 50 items to sell. So the second one would cater perfectly to me. And then the 1-year listing is for people that don't want to be pressured by time and they just want to kind of have that freedom throughout the year to sell items. In addition, the second part of our business model would be store profiles for stable local brands, which would include higher subscription models or percents. And then the influencer live stream sales would also give us a percent from those sales. And our pop-up events, if you don't know what that is, we simply invite sellers and buyers to come into one place, and we make a very fun and lively dynamic event where people can just buy clothing in person.
Right. So I would advise you to, just a suggestion, to look into the customer acquisition costs for, especially for Facebook and Instagram, because I have a feeling that it might be slightly about the the potential revenue generation, and I would definitely look into the unit economics of your business model here. I don't know if you've done work on that or not, but I don't think we have time for that now.
Thank you very much. We definitely will. There's a long way to go.
Congrats on the idea. Congrats on the presentation and the project. For me, actually, I think you're solving a very real problem here, because I have this problem myself, and every month I have at least a few pieces of clothing which I want to part ways with. And I have a very basic question. What would make me use Unboxed instead of just going to Facebook and posting for this group?
Yes, thank you very much. Well, one of the reasons why we provide so many options in regards to value is for people to be enticed to use, our platform. Not only do we provide the basics, which we believe is extremely important. First of all, Facebook lacks any type of authentication. Facebook also lacks any buyer and seller protection. It's chaos. And there's also no visibility or research or filtering through the Facebook groups where the clothing is being sold. In addition, I believe that the implementation of Rush will be extremely useful because not only do they provide delivery touch points, but they also do provide email marketing, which kind of closes the sale at the end. So once a buyer receives their item, then they can also be notified with a next level action to take action. So I think these 4 integrations in combination with our extra value is something that makes us really unique and why people would be more enticed to use our platform. And it's fashion focused, so it's really fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Voyage, a storytelling audio platform that enables you to dive into the history of museum exhibits, heritage sites, and landmarks. Please, let's welcome Sveti.
Yes, thank you. All right. Hello, everyone. These Saturdays where you wonder whether to go out or stay at home and binge watch to all the stories on Netflix, like literally all of them. Well, Voyage, or eavesdrop for language appropriation, lets you binge listen to the stories that are surrounding you outside of your home. But before telling you anything about it, let me go a step further. I was working in the Information Center for Tourism here in Blagoevgrad for 3 years. What I learned for this time was that tourists were aware of the landmarks they should visit, though they were complaining all the time that whenever they visited it, there was basically no information for it, apart from a sign saying, well, you're here, or that's what you see in front of you. Meanwhile, right now the reports are saying that people who are traveling are looking for information that can be digitally accessed, for place storytelling that can better help them experience the place and actually remember what they have seen and understand it, and of course, personalized entertaining content. So this is why Voyage lets you explore the untold stories of the places around you in your own pace, collect your favorite stories, and get rewarded for being curious. But how exactly can you do that? Well, you can download our mobile application and check out the map full of stories. You can go hunt for stories, be engaged with the content that's created there, compete first with yourself by gaining more knowledge, and second with the rest of the people that are using the app. And then, of course, get rewarded for the stories you hear and the quizzes you solve. I already mentioned a couple of times the visitors of different places. However, this is not our only stream of revenue. Apart from that, we have the local businesses who can pop up on our map by telling their stories as well, and of course, the institutions. And here are some numbers to give you a little bit of a perspective, only for our region. Our region was visited by more than 1 million people for the past year. Half of them came to Blagoevgrad, and 17,000 only visited the local museum. This is why we know which are the key places for the people who visit, and that's how we're going to target them to eavesdrop to more stories. The places they stay at, the landmarks, and typical tourist destinations. There are, of course, some alternatives. However, they're either not really focused on storytelling, they're not fact-checking the information that's being uploaded on the platform, or they're not covering our region. So that's why I dare to say that we have kind of a blue ocean situation here. This is the team who, besides me, have been standing up behind this idea for the past 2 years. If you have more questions about our skills and passion for the project, please ask us later. And this is the long way we've gone through. Last year, we were focusing on collecting stories, optimizing the process and content. Then we were focused on validating the product by creating different events. One of them was having people actually experience the museum by listening to our stories and learning more about it. And then we created a treasure hunt, which was basically people hunting stories around the old neighborhood here in Blagoevgrad, where they were competing against each other, and then we were rewarded for that. Of course, we already have our beta app that you already saw in the previous screenshots. What's coming up next is that now that we have the foundation for all this, we would like to go regional and then national, but one step at a time. For the next year, we would like to cover the full all the stores here in Blagoevgrad. We'd like to target at least 7,000 of the museum visitors, having them pay the three-level fee so that they can use our app, which is basically the average that people have said that they would spend for something like that, and then break even in the next year. Thank you for your attention, and make sure to eavesdrop to more stories.
Becky, and I am once again giving the word to our jury.
Thanks, very, very inspiring. What is your business model? Is it like usage-based, based on a per user fee?
Yes, that's our main revenue stream, as mentioned. People can visit places and unlock them by paying for listening to the stories there. Let's say if you go to the museum, you can unlock the place by paying a little fee for that. Then if you want to spread throughout the whole town and unlock the whole place and then the whole region and country. Then we can also create sponsored materials for the local businesses who can pop up on our map so that we can have additional revenue out of there. And then we were approached by a couple of institutions and local NGOs that I cannot mention yet to create more storytelling, more stories about the local places here. So that's our institutional, I might have shown it. That's what institutional engagement means, projects.
Yes, great, thanks. And in terms of channels of onboarding new users, I think like actually the museums, the businesses, how the users will find it?
This is the moment where we say that we're going to target the visitors to the places they visit. Let's say you go to the local museum, you have a sign saying, if you want to learn more about this place, eavesdrop to the stories here. If you go to Bacinovo and you want to learn when was the first time it actually became a park, you can eavesdrop to the stories and you can unlock it and listen to it.
Okay, amazing. Thanks.
Thank you.
What kind of validation have you done with potential customers to see whether they're willing to pay for such service, how much, etc.?
Okay. Yes. So as I mentioned, we did a couple of events already. First one was having people go to the museum, in the museum, people who haven't visited it and were not really aware of what was going on there. And they were listening to our audio stories throughout all of the 7 exhibitions. And the information I got from them was 4 to 5 on 5 based level for how likely are you to buy this audio guide, pay for it, and use it actually when you go to different museums, and what is the need for you when you go to a museum to have an audio guide. That was the first event, and after that we created that kind of a treasure hunt where people were competing in order to, were having a quiz around different spots in the old neighborhood. So once they reach the spot, they have a quiz, they need to answer the question there that's related to the local history for which you read a story about, and then you continue to the next spot. So that's the competing and rewarding moment.
Thank you. And final question for me. How are you planning to defend your position versus the competition? Because the first players seem to have, in terms of functionality, quite a few things. They're not covering the region, but they can easily do so if they decide. So what's your plan?
Right. The only thing that's not really mentioned here is that they are firstly targeting the, can I say, mainstream visiting places in Bulgaria, which are the most popular one. However, they're not really too much into the local places and actually creating a whole guide for, let's say, the town and the place and go through all the places rather than just show them on the map.
And are you dependent on the locations in any way? Do you need anything from the museum in order to?
Got it. Specifically for the museum and any other information stories that we are creating, we are firstly researching the information ourselves. Then our process as it goes right now is to talk to the experts. Right now, they're the ones in the museum because that was our focus and MVP. And talking to them because they're the best source of information when it comes to that, because we really want to be fact-checked information. And then since I think you're kind of aware of the complex language that they are using, we are transforming this terminology and facts and dates and everything that they mention into this kind of storytelling approach where it's edible information for you to understand and go through the whole story and why actually it matters in your present time.
Okay, we have more time.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Why are they helping you, I guess, at the museum?
Because that's a way for them to gather more public, and because now people are not able to understand what are the treasures in the museum right now. And we're helping them with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sveti, for the presentations, and thank you for the questions. I have one question for the audience. Is it too cold in here, or are you okay? Okay, well, turn on the degrees on the AC more. And now we are moving on to our third startup pitching for today, and that is Nagledno. Nagledno is a local journalism platform focused on the city of Sofia. They tackle politics, business, leisure, and investigations through text and graphical representation. So let me welcome Georgi and Nagledno.
Hello, everyone. Nagledno is a local journalism platform that unites what you already see dispersed to every single platform in the country, but never closely knitted together. The number 111 has been drilling in my head for years, maybe in some of your heads also. And that number became 112, then it stayed 112. And I had no idea what this number means, even though I had heard about the Press Freedom Media, World Press Freedom Media Index. And what this actually means is that there are 87 questions in a questionnaire that determines where your country ends up on the map of freedom of speech. I bet there isn't a single person in this room who can tell me one single question out of those 87. Anyone? No, not entirely, but that proves my point. Thank you. So the problem that we solve is threefold. First, a word I coined here, non-objectivity. The media outlets in the country are not objective. Most of them are opinionated. And the issue with that is not that they express their opinion. The issue is that they do not highlight it, which we think is misleading the reader. The second part of the problem is that there is a lack of correlated information. Most of the websites, they just report on some news, but you don't really know how that affects you or your local community. So for example, the war with Ukraine, you don't really know how that affects you personally. The third thing is that what we've established as a team is that media no longer talks to people, it talks with people. That's vice versa, apologies. Because the media simply tells you something and that's it. There is no possibility for you to talk about it. How we solve this is through impartiality. We know what we are doing in terms of journalism and content. We are a local journalism platform, meaning we provide correlation even with world events. You still know what's happening in your local community. And we also focus local events. And through dialogue and learning. One of the biggest problems we solve and we're trying to solve is media literacy. Because media literacy in the country, and most countries in the world for that matter, is extremely low. So in terms of market, what you see here is 3.2 million people in Bulgaria that we can potentially target. The 700K is the third market that we can have in Sofia, because for the moment, we are locally targeted to Sofia with the plan to extend to other countries. And the 140K is a target group population. Why 140? Through a long survey that I don't need to bore you with right now, it was determined that 1 in every 5 people in Bulgaria trusts the media, meaning 4 don't. So if we can reach at first to that person who trusts the media and provide them with something that adds value to not only reading the news, we can get to those 140 people, which is an opportunity of between 700K and 1.4 million, but I'm going to get to that part later. So this is what makes us different. No clickbait articles and high-level summary. Those are all screenshots from our website. By the way, we are functioning, we are live. And I'll give you a QR code that you can check at the end. The thing that we're trying to do most, you see right there in the middle, it is actually an animation that's not playing here because of the presentation, but we are heavily relying on graphics to enable easy information consumption. We care about the sources, and you can see all the sources of the information that you read in every single article. We care about the numbers. You can see that in the articles also. And one of the most important things right there is why what you're reading is important. How we're going to monetize. Nikki there told me that one of his advices were that we need to focus on one revenue, but with this media outlet, it's not possible. That's why we need to combine all 4 that you see here. Technical difficulties, sorry. The go-to-market strategy is our most successful thing so far has been the Sofia Vox rubric. We talk to local leaders successful in their fields. We interview them, we give them the floor to speak to their community. They share it with the community, and that's how we reach more people.
Thank you very much, Georgi. Since we ran out of time, we're going to open it to questions right now, and possibly you're going to mention it in the.
Thank you.
Give a round of applause.
Thanks, Georgi. Amazing. One big question. You're solving a global problem on the local market. Why? Why you're not solving it on the global market?
Sorry if I interrupted it, because nobody is doing that. I don't know, I'm subscribed to Kpis, for example, and most of the outlets that I read, they're talking about global events, but they don't address their local communities. And that's actually a several-fold answer, but it's even connected to the monetizing part, because even we have a division of user-wise and customer-wise. So our users, for example, are the people who read us, for example, you, which are not necessarily going to subscribe. And our customers, for example, would be companies for sponsored rubrics. And those companies can target locally because we are hyper local with Sofia. And it just gives us, contrary to popular opinion, maybe, or your first association, going local is not limiting for us specifically. And in the future, that idea is to go to other cities, not just Sofia forever.
Second question is like, have you probed or validated with someone?
Yes, we've already had, maybe revenue is an overstatement, but we've already, we have 300 newsletter subscribers through service. Half of them said they're willing to pay for something like that, some between 5 and 10 level for a monthly subscription. And we've already sold 2 sponsored articles to the biggest supermarket chain in the country. We've done a sponsored rubric for one of the most famous burger chains that you've all eaten burgers from there. I'm not going to mention it. And we're also in discussion with the biggest audiobooks platform in the country to do sponsored rubrics for them. So in terms of validating the market, we have done that for sure, yes.
Just in terms of differentiation, I think that objectivity is something that every single media on the face of the earth claims. And unfortunately, it takes a very long time to build a brand and the reputation in that business. So my question would be, are you ready for a really, really long time of no revenues and just writing, and then how have you thought about that?
Yes, when we applied to Elevate, before we also applied to other accelerators, and actually all of them were rejections precisely because of what you said. But we were not afraid of that because we thought about it many times. Other people have already told us the same thing. And in terms of objectivity, it's probably the most difficult thing about our idea because we're going to build it for months and years, and we can destroy it with one single article. But
how are you going to control that?
The writing, you mean?
Yeah, the
objectivity.
Yeah.
Objective is not something you can measure or touch, so I get it's a difficult thing to control. But we're the three members in our team. 2 of us are graduated with journalism, bachelor degrees, and apart from a lot of work, it's just checking all the sources and not misleading people. Because how we started Nagledno is because we couldn't find on the market what we were looking for, and we don't want to end up in the same situation where somebody shares our article on Facebook and there are 2,000 comments with somebody telling that we're talking nonsense.
How do you think this operation can scale? Because to be successful, we need to be able to scale. So what's the plan here?
The plan is to go to other cities in Bulgaria. We are somewhat limited to that because we need to target cities with people they can afford to pay 5 or 10 level for monthly for journalism, because it's difficult because in Bulgaria we're still not accustomed to paying for entertainment. We still use certain sites, as I'm also not going to mention. But in terms of scaling, we want to target other cities in Bulgaria and then other cities in Europe.
And have you done, validation that there's enough willingness in the market to pay to substantiate such a business, at least in Bulgaria?
Yeah, in terms of, I already mentioned the survey that we had based on people who already subscribed to us. We also, based on tracking analytics, we see that actually other people in the country are also starting to read us. And what we've also noticed, to answer your question based on validation, we are not a popular media in any way, and we already have companies and people contacting us. They have found our website or our contacts without us addressing them in any way, not to sponsor, but to give us their content so we can spread it. So there is interest for sure. Everybody that we had even a tete-a-tete conversation is interested in journalism, but that's the way to monetize it to survive. Thank you.
While giving the jury a couple of seconds to just finish their notes, I would like to actually draw your attention to the drink you saw outside. Most of you probably know, but Pate Mate is actually one of the alumni teams from season 2. And this is the product they created and developed during the Elevate program last year. there is some more, and by some, I mean a lot more. So when the event finishes, you can definitely grab one so that you can try it. Just keep in mind that it's an energy drink. So it's on you if you want to drink it in the evening or in the morning. Woo!
Next up, we have Bravey. Bravey is a Bulgarian digital platform for online courses led by professionals for business, media, and psychology, with the prime focus on practical skills and advice. I would like to invite Sophia.
Hi, I'm Sophia, and I'll be pitching for Bravey today. So this is me, and I have a problem. Around my second semester here at AUBG, I realized that I need a lot more than just theoretical knowledge to become the successful entrepreneur I desire to be. So, I decided I should find the most successful people in Bulgaria and learn from them. And here comes the problem. These people are almost nowhere to be found, and the ones that you can actually find that do want to give back and teach others how to become successful almost exclusively do it on on-ground live events that are not that accessible. Why? Because they're limited to the location they're held at, to the day of the week they're held at, the hour they're held at, the people that can attend, and even their price. So how can we solve this? How can we create education that connects successful people with people who want to succeed and does it in a way that is accessible for everyone all across Bulgaria? And the answer is Bravey. Bravey is an online platform with pre-recorded courses led by renowned professionals with years of experience in their respective field here in Bulgaria. And what's more, Bravey courses are extremely niche, meaning that every course is on a concrete topic and lecturers only give out advice out of their own personal professional experience. Our target market are people between the ages of 18 and 25 who are already eager to learn and self-develop. In Bulgaria, people in this age group that have access to the internet amounts to almost 568,000 people. Out of those, 300,000 people have actually taken a course outside of work, school, or college. And what we want to do is target 10% of this market in the next 2 years, 24/7. This is the connection we're providing you with some of the biggest minds in Bulgaria. You don't have to worry that you're going to miss class or that you need to miss work to go to Sofia for a workshop, because Bravely provides you with a constant 24/7 connection with some of the brightest and most successful people here in Bulgaria. At launching, people would be able to buy each course one at a time. After we have gathered more content on the platform, people would be able to buy a bundle of same topic courses, and after we have a lot more courses on the platform, people would be able to buy the subscription option. Our go-to-market strategy is visiting the places where our clients are. This means that you're going to see us in schools and universities and co-working spaces, but also at networking events and in mentorship programs. We have already started a relationship with Elevate and with Bapage Internship Academy, which is organized by Elevate alumni, but I also want to target Mentor the Young, Able Mentor 180, and other mentorship programs. Our competitor is first and foremost Masterclass. However, what differentiates us is the fact that our knowledge is applicable here in Bulgaria, and it is specifically designed to teach people how to be successful here. Another competitor of ours is Training Academy, and what is different about us is the fact that all of our courses are accessible for everyone all of the time, wherever they are. There are websites such as Master First Class, which have online courses with Bulgarian lectures. However, they are inactive at the moment. We need 1,200 customers to buy just one course of 150 level in order for us to break even, which we can do in 6 months. What we have done so far is create a demo website and beta tested 3 times. We have created a demo course and tested its unique format with our potential customers. We have contacted lecturers, and I have persuaded Svetla Lesova to do a business course with us, and I am constantly working on the above mentioned partnerships. So I am looking for a co-founder. I have interviewed 6 people so far. I have a few more interviews to go. However, I am really open to partnerships. So if there is someone here in the audience that would like to join Bravey, feel free to contact me after the event. Be brave with Bravey and invest in the change of Bulgaria by transforming education. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sophie, and giving the word to the jury.
Congrats. Quick question. How do you persuade the lecturers and people who are gonna be inspiring your audience so that they can buy your course?
Yes, so the first thing that we want to do is actually create a community. For example, I know that being an entrepreneur, it is a very lonely thing to do. So what we want to do is create a community between all of the lecturers that do a course with us, meaning that we're going to have networking events, they're going to have access to everything on the website. Of course, they are going to receive money for what they're doing, the around 30 to 40% of the revenue of every course. And also, they are just going to be leaving a legacy behind, and it's going to be really easy for them to do that because we are actually the ones that shoot the course. We are talking to them when we are just constructing the whole course. We're the ones distributing it. We're the ones that find the clients. We're the ones that market the whole course. All they have to do is just be themselves, come to a meeting with us, like maybe a few times a month, so that we can construct the whole material for the course and then just shoot it for a day or two.
And second quick question is like, have you thought about freemium where you actually put part of the content for free so you can get traction?
Yeah, so what we have thought is do something that we just said does, which is that the first part of the course, for example, the first 20 to 30 minutes, the first few lessons are for free. And once it gets interesting, they have to pay.
Thank you.
And again, in terms of differentiation, I know there's global services that offer this kind of classes. And are you going to offer this in Bulgarian or what's?
Yes, yes, it is specifically designed for Bulgaria.
Right. And because it seems like a very large scale project to you've thought about bringing a critical mass of lecturers to begin with. What do you think that number is?
Well, masterclass actually started with just 3 people. And what they said was that once people saw that these 3 people wanted to do a course with them. So now they're actually rejecting 9 out of 10 people that want to do a course with them. So I think that we can start with 3 to 5 people. And then from them on, if we believe that what happened to masterclass can happen to us as well, it would be actually easy to persuade more people to come to us.
Okay. And how are you going to market this? Have you thought about it?
Do you mean the well, I think this is like the main thing that we're gonna do. Like we're just gonna go wherever our clients are. We're gonna give free vouchers. We're gonna do challenges with them. We're gonna give out speeches. We're gonna do workshops, do everything to persuade them that we're a good source of information.
Okay, thank you.
How much investment do you need to get going?
But that is a very interesting question. In the best case scenario, when everything is high quality and we can market it in the best way possible, it is something around 150,000. If we do it on a budget, we can do it with 50,000.
Okay, and final question for me. Do you have an idea of a beachhead market? I mean, where do you start? What are the key topics and respectively, the key audiences that you want to address first to gain initial traction?
Yes, so our customer development showed that our target market wants courses in business, media, and psychology, and all the fields that overlap. For example, emotional intelligence or team building and stuff like that. And people that we're going to target aggressively are exactly the people that already start their development in these fields. For example, going to mentorship programs like this.
Thank you.
Before we continue, I would like to also point something out. On the back of your seats, you have cards. I don't know if you saw them, but they are going to give you some of the prizes that we put here. So make sure to check out what you win on your way out.
So the last start of pitching for today, but definitely not least, is Hangout. Hangout is a one-of-a-kind, three-in-one place that will literally transform 3 times during the day. In the early hours, it is going to be suitable for brunch. In the afternoon, it is going to be suitable for studying and snacks. And then in the evening, our favorite part, networking and cocktails. So let's welcome Dari and Hangout.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dari, and today I'm going to present to you a very great idea of Hangout. So these here are our target customers. Those are the university students. Based on different research interviews we did with them and surveys, we saw that 26% of them skip a meal because they have no time to eat. 36% of them skip a meal because it's too far away for them to get it from. Now you're going to say, what about canteen? That's very close by. Yet, however, 84% of the students that we interviewed are dissatisfied with the canteen food. And now look at that number. 100% of the students that live on campus eat out every single day, simply because they live on campus. Now let's look at the problems that the AUBG students face, starting with the fact that they have limited time in between lectures to eat. They also have limited or no access at all to a place that offers good breakfast options, limited or no access at all to a place that offers homemade quality fresh products, limited or no access at all to a place that offers good coffee, and trust me, that's super important for students, and limited or no access at all to a social bar nearby for them to hang out after the lectures. Here's where Hangout steps in. It's going to be an exclusive club for young professionals. We're going to build something that's important for the students. We're going to be a three-in-one place. From morning till lunch, we're going to serve brunch, also do grab and go in order to save time, and do delivery. We're also, in the afternoon, we're going to be transformed into a coffee shop that's for studying, for connecting, snacks and coffee. And then in the evenings, we're going to be transformed into a cocktail bar that offers designer drinks. When I say transform, I mean that some parts of the interior will be changed. So will be the lighting, the music, and the whole vibe of the place in order to serve those three functions, which believe are in high interest and in the current trend with our students. Here's our primary target market. This is the AUBG in its campus. We're going to be located within 20 steps away from it. And later on, we're going to expand on a national level, targeting other universities and their campuses. Here are some of our direct and indirect competitors based in Bulgaria. There is a very detailed competitive analysis of them. But how we're going to outperform them, we're going to be 3-in-1. From morning till midnight, we're going to be available to our students. We know the target group better than anyone else. After all, we are students ourselves, and so are our best friends. We have the location. We're going to be foreigners friendly. There won't be no longer from foreigners who are trying to communicate with the ladies at the canteen in the AUBG cafe. We are going to be students friendly. We're going to cooperate with the university. We're going to cooperate with the clubs. We're also going to optimize our schedule to there, offer meal plans. We'll even organize some cool events. We'll have the option for students to pre-order something if they're in a hurry, or book a table if they want to reserve a slot for them to go and study there. They could simply do that from our website. They click a book a table, they choose the selection of Hangout, they choose the date, the slot, and in the details, they can maybe pre-order something, as I said, if they're in a hurry. Now, this is our business model. We're going to do business to customers. You can see that we have 3 different profit margins because we're going to use different products from brunch, cafe, and bar. You're going to say, how reliable are those profit margins? Well, they're very reliable because we already tested them on our 2 prototype events. The first of which was a brunch event. We had 25 people. We tested 11 food recipes. We tested 11 drinks recipes, coffees, and smoothies. We tested the slots, the delivery. We received tips and a lot of positive feedback. The second event with Unboxed, we gathered even more people. I mean, it was for cocktails. So even more cocktails, profit margin was higher. We received a lot of positive feedback, tips, and finally made some profits. Here's some of our partners together with who we made those 2 events successful. And here are our financial projections and KPIs. The return on investment will happen after 2 months and 11 days. The initial investment that we need is 28,380 leva, and the break even will happen every month if we reach above 11,460 leva on sales. Here is the best part of Hangout, the team. On board, we have Benzi, who is our celebrity, also known as the chef and the mixologist. We have me, I don't have to explain my position to you. We have Mario, who is our brand designer, and we have Didi, who is our treasurer, also known as Dr. No. And yes, me and Benzi also have the experience of bartenders at work and travel. Here's what has
Hangout has done up until now. We have done various focus groups in order to test the problem. We have worked on the website, worked on the interior, tested a lot of recipes, found partners, and organized 2 events. Currently, we're working on our 3rd event. Soon we're going to start refurnishing. In September, we're going to have our grand opening, then open first location in Sofia, in Veliko Trnavo, and then expand on a national level. So let's hang out at Hangout.
Thank you very much, Dari, for the wonderful presentation. And now open to questions once more.
Okay. This was big. We used to have the same problem of eating out back in our day, so we can relate. And it's a very strong proposition, I would say. You're very clear about what you're going to do and how, and how much time and money you need. And it seems you've thought about everything since the last time we met. And you've thought about expansion as well. But the only question would be, because you can't scale this enough, at some point you'll need to expand, and expansion in these businesses notoriously difficult in the service business, and there are only a few chains because of that fact. So difficult. How do you think about the expansion? How are we going to approach it?
Thank you for the question. Well, we have an additional slide about the financial projections. As you can see, at least in our realistic case scenario, in a year we are closely making about $100,000 level, which will be enough for us to open at least 3 more locations in Bulgaria. And from this it goes on, and we expand like other startups and the ones you've been thinking about.
Okay, thank you.
What are you going to do during the summer when you don't have customers?
Yes, we get that question very often. Well, we'll be still open because, although the students at AUBG live in the summer, there are a lot of summer camps. We're going to adapt for them. We're also going to adapt for the Bogotgrad community and for the students who study abroad but are from Bogotgrad. We hear a lot of complaints that there is nothing to do in the summer, so we're going to adapt for them. Also, in the summer, we're going to do some improvements. We're going to do some trainings for the staff, new recipes, and etc.
My favorite question, how do you plan to defend your model versus the competition? If you have, say, a local vodka from Bogotgrad wanting to open the same kind of model, what are you going to do?
Yes, I'll show you our competitors and answer to that question. Actually, this reminds me of my strategic management course I'm taking with Professor Goksoy. She always tells us that there is no longer sustainable competitive advantage nowadays because everything is easy to compete. However, you need to think out of the box. You need to put your customers on the pedestal and also try to give them the best. We're always going to be in the trends, and this is how we're going to achieve the competitive advantage. Professor Goksoy claims it's no longer there.
Thank you.
Why is the okay? Got it wrong. Congrats, first, it's very interesting and different project than the rest of the project. So, what is the main challenge you're facing?
Well, we're not going to lie. The investment is maybe the toughest part because after all, it's a big sum. Also, one thing that could be a problem, although we have thought about it, is that it is hard to find people who are going to support us, but we've made some surveys, research, and other stuff that is going to show a slide. And 70% of the people that we've interviewed are willing to work for us and help us. So we are quite happy about it because we are not going to be alone in this long endeavor.
Well paid. Yeah. Okay, and have you thought of actually mastering the process into the first few locations and then expanding by franchise?
Yeah, this is one of the things that we've thought about as well. We believe that at first we want to test with the AUBG students, with the AUBG campus, and see how things are developing. And then if it's really successful, we are planning to do a whole how do you say it, a prototype about it and say it to other people who want to buy this franchise.
We're using the AUBG campus as a testing ground. This is our testing ground.
It's a good one, yeah.
Have any time left? Just back on the expansion, are you going to tackle if you're going to do it yourself and not with a franchise, how are you going to tackle the human resources problem there and the control?
For AUBG, I think we have it solved because 70% of the people are going to help us, according to our surveys and interviews. And also we have some other people we've spoken about with people in Sofia, and we found some people who are willing to help us there. So I think we can do it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is working? Yes. I was told not to use my bad one of let's see who is going to lend the money. So instead, I am going to use the one that it is time for our judges' take off. They are now I am now inviting you to go to the next room so that we can discuss which and how much of the money from the investment fund our startups are going to get. Jan is going to take you there. But you don't go anywhere. I have a lot of things planned for you. Starting with one very special guest, and that is, as we mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, that 11 Ventures has always been here to support us, to provide the know-how, and to be there for us on a weekly basis, even though they have a very, very busy schedule, believe me. So now I would like to give the floor to their marketing manager, Ikiana.
Yes. Hello, guys. Yeah, obviously I was late. That's why I wasn't here at the beginning, but I'm part of the fund program. I'm kicking off the fund program. So I wanted to tell you a quick story. Basically, why we're here today, how it all started. It was around this time in 2019. It was April, and with one of our team members at 11, who is alumni of the American University, a very active member of the board and the whole community, Daniel Gomov, we were sitting on a lunch. And at the end of the lunch, after discussing all stuff related to work, he was like, hey, by the way, what do you think about building an accelerator in the American University? This is how it all started. And why did we want to build an accelerator in the American University? Is because we wanted to have a place where you as students and alumni as well would be able to experiment, so to say, in a safe, so not as much safe, but let's say safe environment, be able to fail, be able to test, and be able to build something that actually makes sense. Because we believe that learning how to build a business is not learned by books only, but getting your hands dirty, building what you want to build, failing, learning, and going through a long way. So we said, okay, what do we need? We got a big buy-in, so to say, from the university. We're very happy that they are supporting the program. We got a very big buy-in from the alumni network, which are, by the way, the people who are actually funding the program with their donations. Some of the companies which you can see here, and some of the people which are kindly donating to these funds to be running the program. And then we also had, I think, more than 30, 40, or even more alumni and people around the university and involved with the university that are mentors, lecturers, and supporting teams and team of the program throughout the Elevate season. Now we're finishing off season 3. It has been 3 years. And this is the first offline demo day. And we're actually very, very excited to have you all here. I'm saying all of that for 2 reasons. First, there actually might be a season number 4. We don't know. Let's see. I think at the end of this event, we're going to learn more about that. And I wanted to give you an idea that, according to me, one of the best things you can do to learn more about business, to experience business, and to experience what it is to become an entrepreneur by being a university student is to enter the Elevate Accelerator. So if there is, we'll see about that, a season 4 in the next academic year, I encourage you to join the program. Number 2, I'm telling this story because I want to thank everyone involved. By the way, before thanking everyone involved, one of the reasons why the accelerator exists is because while we were looking at all of these companies which are currently supporting the program financially, and all of the alumni, which you saw in the beginning of the presentation, the opening of the event, we thought, what if these guys were part of the accelerator? What if these guys were part of this initiative, which actually helped them kick off their ideas, to kick off Melon, Business Creation, Payhawk, Montway, Visa Innovation Program, and Telerik, by the way, which is co-founded by alumni of the American University. And currently, we are trying with the Elevate Accelerator, trying to help you build the next Telerik, Payhawk, Montway, Melon, so on and so forth. And I want to thank everyone involved until now. I want to thank the donors, I want to thank the mentors, the alumni, everyone in the administration of the university who participated, all of the teams which had the courage to actually apply and stay until this day, not fail, also with the ones who got some hiccups. Of course, this happens with their teams. We're going to learn more about that as well. Congratulations to you as well for trying and being here. And last but not least, big thanks to the whole Elevate team, which are scattered around the room and playing their different roles, for being with the startups, being with within the program, and supporting everyone involved. And again, I'm not sure if there's season 4 coming up. It might be. Think about it, because I think it might be a very interesting opportunity for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nikki. You just absolutely spoiled the rest of my presentation, so thanks. But me repeating what Nikki just said is just going to confirm that everything she just said is the absolute truth. And this is going to start with our donors. Let's see if my clicker is working. Ah, it is working. So how many of you know PayPal? By a raise of hands. It's a lot. And many of you probably know that PayPal is also the first Bulgarian unicorn. And if you don't know it, Dr. Evans mentioned it at the beginning of the presentation, so I sure do hope you know it. But they're actually a finance platform that is helping to digitize and to digitalize the companies and their payment methods. So let's see a video they have prepared for us, and you get a bonus point for every familiar face you see, because as you know, a lot of AUBG alumni and some current students actually work there.
So, how many cars do you need?
400.
Sure thing, not a problem at all. What's the use case?
Payments on the International Space Station.
All right.
We need them in 2 weeks.
You have them. Bobka, listen, I have a top client.
What do they want?
We need to take Payhawk to the moon.
So, how much time?
2 weeks.
That's not possible.
Няма как да стане.
Why would you need a credit card in space?
what if we just guys?
Guys, I don't think we'll make it.
I might have something.
That's gonna take months.
I can do that in a day.
Can't believe he's done it. Hey, Pastana.
Yes, Payhawk is rapidly expanding their team, so you can visit this website to check out if they're the right fit for you. Now, to once again repeat what Nikki just spoiled for you, accelerators are indeed a program that help us create a lot of big companies all around the world. Companies like Airbnb and Reddit and Dropbox have started from accelerators. But not all of the stories of startups that start in accelerators grow into these huge companies. Nikki called them failures. I personally like to call them learning opportunities. And that's why today we've invited Mishu, who is one of the participants who was accepted to Elevate Season 3, to tell you a little bit more about this Elevate experience.
Thank you very much, Bessie. In fact, Nick already stole the show. I was planning to call the TED Talk as we planned with Jan. But many of the things I don't think are would be bad if they're repeated. So to put some context in what I'm going to say, we were participating in the program, but we decided not to pitch because towards the end, we discovered our validation was not quite valid in a sense. So we had the opportunity to either present something which we don't really have a long-term vision for, or continue with a totally new product without validation, for which we couldn't really present anything today. But anyways, further on to what I'm going to say about the program. So this is the place where you guys are going to have the hands-on experience, get your hands dirty, learn how entrepreneurship really works. In fact, as Nick said, it's about having the safe ground to fail, to experiment, to see what works and what doesn't, to learn from your mistakes and from your failures. Speaking of failures, nobody expected that the time that we put in fact, more than, let's say, 20 to 30 hours a week would be really a sunk cost, but it turned out to be, so why care about something that essentially didn't work out? So 3 major takeaways that I took out of the program, which I believe some of the people who are here and they're planning to participate might find useful. So first takeaway, always have a long-term vision. We enrolled onto the program just for the sake of the experience, and that was actually the best and the worst decision that we've made, because we didn't really know where we wanted to go. But you need to be committed. You need to start always from the problem. You need to be committed to solving that problem. And at the end of the day, if you see one solution is not working, you go on to the next one. Elevate gives you exactly those safe grounds to try out different solutions, to validate your market, to talk to customers, to get pissed off, to get try basically your hand up and everything. And the more you get into these hurdles, the better entrepreneur you're going to be, because essentially those lessons and this knowledge stays for life and nobody can take it away from it. So the second major takeaway that I took out of the program was about building your team correctly. You need a person, you've played Yu-Gi-Oh, Exodia, you need 3 parts, I would say. For a startup team in such an early stage, I would say you need 3 people.
especially for a digital product. You need a business person who's very well, let's say, who's very savvy in marketing, very savvy in sales. You need a person who is preferably a full stack developer who can build your product, and a person who is going to design it. Of course, if all of those people have some experience, have some knowledge in the industry that they're building a product in, it's gonna save you a lot of headaches and a lot of time. And this leads me to my third takeaway from the program. Always go for solutions for solving problems that you have let's say a personal story with, or you have some acquaintance with. You can see that many of the people who presented today, congrats, by the way, really great presentations. I was amazed. They all started with the story, right? So if you know the essence of the problem, you're gonna know how to approach it. You're gonna know how to approach the people in the industry, and most importantly, you're gonna know your customers very well, and you're gonna know how to sell to them and what really their pain points, let's say, are. So once again, I want to, like many of the things I reiterate, Nick already said, but I want to thank the Elevate team, 11 Ventures, all the donors, all the mentors that took part in the program and helped organize it. So please, a round of applause for them for making this amazing experience happen. Before I wrap up, I also want to thank my team, Marty Stanchev, Vasil Stoyanov, Tony Gashi, Martin Mitev, and Razanov, for helping with this project. So firsthand, it was not an easy thing. A lot of time put in, a lot of effort put in, and sometimes things don't work out, and it's totally okay if you admit it to yourself. Go forward the next idea, and go next, as they say. So, in fact, our development team, which is a good thing, decided to spin off another product from the old one that we were working on. They're now doing the validation. They're now reaching out to businesses because they switched to a B2B model, as far as I know. Tony Gashi and Martin Mitev, where are they in the crowd? Guys, raise your hands. Yeah, sitting back there. So if there are anybody interested in either joining their team or potential partnership, investment, feel free to reach out to them. I vouch for them. And yeah, overall, I wish to say thank you once again for this amazing opportunity to learn firsthand. And, you know, as Steve Jobs says, stay hungry and stay foolish. That's the basis of entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Say one more thing. We were not the loudest team, despite there was miscommunication, but that's the problem. My name is Tony Gashi, and I was part of Kpis. The problem is that there was a miscommunication, as I said, and despite multiple attempts to fix it, we couldn't fix it. However, it was a great experience. Just one more thing that we'd like to say. I heard everybody saying thank you to everybody, and Michelle, thank you for saying thank you to me. But you guys, not giving the time that we worked so hard for. Each of us were how many, 6 months, 7 months, more, some plus more, and not being able to take those minutes, it's not a great deal to present those minutes, right? And I just want to take this time that I'm here right now to thank the amazing work for Misha, for Lazaron, for Martin, for Basti, for Marty. Thank you so much, guys, and appreciate it. You are all great, and looking forward to working with you again next.
Very much, Tony. Thank you very much, Michelle. I truly think that the 6 months Tony just mentioned that you worked on the project were definitely not a time loss. There is a lot of time for you to continue validating and revalidating and retesting the idea. Elevate will always be open to support you as you are one of our alumni teams. So feel free to contact us if you need anything, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Moving on, as this is going to be absolutely brand new information for you. The season 4 of Elevate is officially open and accepting applications. So, scan the QR code. It is going to take you to the application form for next season. The questions there, I know it's a very long form, but the questions there are there to guide you so that they can help you create the best pitch for when you're applying to the program. I also know that the deadline is very, very far away. It's somewhere in late October, and I know that during summer, the last thing you're thinking about is AUBG, but do keep that form close to you because the questions will definitely help you develop and grow your idea so that when the time comes for you to pitch for the Elevate Season 4, you will have all the preparation necessary. And of course, I would like to also share with you about some of the new things we launched this year. One of them, Stoyan already mentioned the format of the program, but another one is actually that we launched the corporate challenges. This one was with the Visa Innovation Program. And for those of you who do not know, the Visa Innovation Program is a FinTech pilot center collaboration platform designed to help startups scale, supercharge the value proposition, and engage with Visa, its clients, and partners. Together with them, Elevate opened a call for FinTech startups that are tackling the problem of how would the world of money look like in 2030. It served as an inspiration and as a guide for our startups to apply to the program. Further down the road, we partnered with Voyage Transport, who are the #1 rated car carrier in the US. With them, we ran a weekend-long sprint in which our participants were given a task connected to sustainability, a real-life task that the company is facing, connected to sustainability, and they were working on solving it. The Montway team was there. We had an amazing facilitator, and we had the support from 11. And by this, they came up with solutions, which in the end of the weekend, they presented to the Montway people. And in fact, something great is that the Montway people actually took this information to the rest of the company, and they're planning to implement some of the solutions our participants came up with in real life. And this was actually super useful for them because they were able to work on a real business case scenario with the team present there. That's my laser, not my pointer. Of course, a super important pillar, I would actually not call it super important because that's not very professional with me. I would call it a fundamental pillar for Elevate are our mentors. These are the people who spend their late nights after a long and hard working day together with our participants. They meet on a weekly basis with them to teach them lessons on different business topics such as sales, marketing, legal, finance, the art of pitching, and so on and so forth. They presented their paths to success. They also, they presented their paths to success, and they also gave them one-on-one advice so that they can make sure that the pitches we began with during the year, which trust me, I watched yesterday and are very, very different from what you saw today, can become actual potential ideas that are going to receive further investment. And in fact, as Stoyan briefly mentioned, and as you probably know what the jury is doing right now in the next room, they're deciding who will get money from the further investment. But this does not mean that if you or anyone joining us online wants to somehow support our startups, whether it is with financing, whether it's with a donation, whether it's with a partnership, the contacts of our startups founders, sorry, lost my train of thought there. The contacts of our startups partners are on our website, and they're also here as you saw them all present. So if you would like to chat with them, ask them more questions, you have all the time. But yes, a great thank you to all of our mentors. And in fact, while we are still waiting for the jury to decide, we now have some time to put you in the shoes of the jury. So if you guys have any questions for the teams that just presented or for the Elevate team, we'll be more than happy to answer them. I know that we have some online, and our lovely team has been sending them to me, so thank you very much. So we are going to start with a question for Brady. Sophie, I think that the microphone is somewhere over there. We're not going to open your presentation, so we're putting you right on spot. But the question is, how does your service differentiate from the other online course platforms?
Oh, thank you so much. My favorite question. Well, first of all, we're not teaching people how to do digital stuff, which is what the main and the bigger companies in Bulgaria are doing. And how we differentiate, for example, from Coursera, Udemy, and other websites like that. We are teaching people how to be successful in Bulgaria. These websites are actually teaching people concrete skills. We're doing that as well, but our prime focus is to teach them how to make money here. So I guess this is the main differentiation.
Okay, thank you, Sophie. Are these all the questions we have from online? Okay, so do we have any questions here in the audience? You get a bonus deck of cards if you ask a question. No, I'm kidding, of course. Or not. Yes, coming right to you.
Thank you. So my question is for Hangout. Did you guys manage to find the location that you want to go into? Yes, we did. And actually, we've been in contact with the landlord of the place. And actually, if we have the financing, so we are going to the intendants to sign up for the contract.
Okay, more questions. Yes, coming right to you.
Thank you. I have a question for Hangout as well. Could you tell us a little bit more about the menu?
I can confirm that it was absolutely delicious because I was at the prototype event. What
Are you asking for the brunch or for the cocktails or for the coffee?
Everything.
For cocktails, Vince, you can answer. For brunch, we're gonna have burgers, both vegetarian and non-vegetarian. We're gonna have, of course, salad soups. We're gonna have pancakes. We're gonna have waffles. We're going to have smoothies, fresh, everything, guys. Avocado toast, salmon toast. Yeah, you see. And do you want to say about the cocktails?
Are you gonna have Mexican food?
What are you looking for? Okay.
I'm just asking if you're gonna have Mexican food.
If you're willing to work for us as a cook and cook some Mexican food,
let's make it happen.
More questions from the audience.
and actually for the cocktails we have a Mexican blue margarita.
Interesting.
Can I just say something? I think we're all looking for Hangout to actually succeed because it's gonna save us so much kilos that we get over from the canteen. And yeah, I think we're all looking for that.
My question is rather hilarious. How do you plan to deal with drunk students tonight?
Drunk students, you mean? Well, I think that the community here in AUBG is really responsive, and I don't think people are going to make problems.
Okay, we have another question here, or do you guys have any more questions on that side, or? Okay, then actually here we have a great example of one of our mentors who has been supporting us ever since the very beginning of the program. She has met with our team, she has provided support, so give it up for Bobby. Microphone, because she has a question.
Thank you, Desi. Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to see you now in real life. So congratulations. It was great event, great presentations, and great result that you have achieved. I'm really proud of seeing all of this. So as a reflection and a question to all the teams, just using the time, if you think about all these months, which will be the one word that you pick up that will be your takeaway, what you will remember, just one word. And then think about what is the biggest challenge you had over the month. So this can be as a lesson for everybody applying for the next season.
And pass it along if you want to hear from all of us. So for me, the most important word is validation, because you need to validate. And maybe that's also the hardest thing actually, to validate.
Okay, in terms of, sorry, Okay. 20 says I should stand up, so I should. One word that was most difficult. Honestly, cohesion between the team. I think that was the most difficult thing for us. And the opposite would be, I don't know, that's difficult, but maybe actually I don't have one word. Content, I guess, because we produced something that the people actually bought and people read. So I guess that's it.
Yes, so my word would be either change or growth because I think we've all changed. Our ideas changed, we all grew, we met people, we lost people. So yeah, change and growth.
So for those who are not aware, I'm part of Greencoms, the startup that Mish presented. So it may sound like cliche, but I would say passion, because looking from our perspective, we found out that it's really important to solve a problem that we have a passion about. That leads to Mish's point that you have to solve a problem that directly concerns you because you care about it and you're looking to the problem from the perspective of the customer. You know the industry, you know the problems of the customer, so that's why it's really essential to solve a problem that is personal to you, and that's why you need to have a passion for it. Otherwise, you're just working like thinking and not having this sentimental thing, I would say, the emotion. But contrary to the popular misconception, there is a lot of, I would say, emotional aspect in entrepreneurship. It's not all about thinking analytically, because if you don't really feel that what you're solving is worth not only for others but for you, you don't have passion. Yeah, that's basically.
Lastly, I think for us it's gonna be, I was gonna say conflict resolution because that's what I told during this winter, but it's mostly communication. It's learning to communicate with the team, learning to communicate with the mentors and presenting your idea. And as a James measures, communication. Majors, all of it.
And before I give the mic to the rest, the one word that I have remembered to use the most is developers. You need developers, full stack, back end, front end, everything. And they also need to know how to design, or at least have a partner that knows how to design. And I think that the thing that I remember the most is just because your idea works on a different market does not mean that it will work on your local market. So you have to adapt to that, to your local market. In our case, we adapted a lot of things to the Bulgarian market because trust me, the way that they work in the United States and the UK is not the way that it works here. And it needs to follow all the legal guidelines of that as well. So that's us. Thank you. More questions online. We might have some more here in the hall, but I see that our jury has made their decision and I'm not going to keep you on your toes very longer. So the startups are going to be here. You have their contact information on our website, so feel free to contact them with any questions. Before I give the jury the word, I would also, we mentioned the mentors, we mentioned the donors, we mentioned the startups, but I also have to mention 4 more people who are very, very important to this program. And this is our team. And I would actually like to invite them here on stage with us because they should be a part of this ceremony. So Kao, our PR manager. Managers behind all of the pretty stories and posts you see online, Prezi and Marina. Thank you very much for all of your hard work on the accelerator, because you know that without you also it would not be possible. And I swear this was all for me. Alex, I'm not starting with the jokes. I am giving the floor to our jury members.
Okay, thank you. I'm not going to announce the winners yet, but I just want to say a few words about the entire event. And it's very impressive. I'm very glad that we're doing this. It's very exciting. And I just wanted to say that those ideas are extremely well researched. And they're not only extremely well presented in a very professional way, all the 5 teams were at a global level of presentation and articulation, and you can immediately tell how much work has gone into that. It's very easy to see who's done a lot of work on their idea. And I think that those are very competitive, not only at a college level, but those are competitive in the real world. Because in a few months or years, you'll be out and we see worse ideas every day in our professional careers presented in a horrendous way. And those people are raising money. And I'm very optimistic about our teams here, honestly. And we had to make a very tough decision here to award 2 teams, we've decided, that are going to be not the most successful ones, but those are going to be probably, they have the quickest path to success, in our opinion. And we don't know that much about the projects to begin with, so a little disclaimer here. But we have looked at those ideas in terms of ease of go-to-market and probability of success. Some of the projects are very big, some are smaller. And we just want to provide a message here that no matter how big or small the project is, and again, a little disclaimer that we're not rating these in terms of how successful they'll be at the end, but we just want to make a stand that we don't want to give everybody an award. Like, we don't want to give away comfort awards, because we don't believe in this, especially in this business, in the VC business, in the entrepreneurship. There is only a few winners every single time. You know, can't everyone be a winner? And this is a message we want to stay as a kind of a legacy going forward. So I want to give the word to my 2 colleagues there. They're going to present the 2 companies and that we've selected, and they're going to tell you a few words about why we've selected them.
Okay, thank you. Again, I would like to start with the notion that this is not an award. This is an investment that the club and the university makes in you. So you need to really make sure that you use that investment wisely, put your hearts and muscle into those projects and try to make it. We firmly believe that those couple of teams that we selected can use this check as a rocket booster to really bring those projects to market and turn them from a project to a real business. So without further ado, let me introduce the first award, or investment rather. And this is the team Unboxed. Here you go. Truly, truly impressed by the overall polish of your presentation, the depth of your analysis, the completeness of the data, of the arguments of why this could really become a successful business. We really think that we have researched the market well. We have picked an edge that can give you differentiation and a competitive advantage. And we really think and hope that this check can actually give you the necessary boost to get going. So congrats. Please exert the same energy and vigor going forward. You're going to face tough times, but I really hope that you've enjoyed the journey so far. And let me tell you, the best is yet to come.
Marker that we use is not permanent, so please be careful to not. Yeah, this is at least on our account. Put another zero. If you add a zero, add it on the other side, on the left. Guys, it was really a pleasure for us to talk about all your ideas, and it was very hard to find which one is better than the other, but at the same time, as Zarko and Otto said, we were super focused on who will be these two projects that will have the faster and the closest path to market and to actually becoming a business. So I'm super happy to give the second investment check to Hangout. Guys, your project is actually not the most scalable one, but the most doable one from what we saw. If you're so close to market, you're so real, your project actually will give very material benefits to the community here. And I wish you good luck with it, and hope to see you next year or in 2 years from now somewhere else, and enjoy your products. I want to say 2 words about your presentation. Honestly, not sure if you have looked at presentations like Uber first presentations or other successful projects right now, but you have more numbers than any of these. So you did a really good job for starting the local business with
Congratulations to Team Hangout and to Team Unbox. Congratulations to the rest of the teams as well. I've had a lovely time working with you throughout the whole year. So thank you very much for all the efforts you put. As we mentioned, this is not the end of the program for you, because you are now officially Elevate AUBG alumni. The season 4 application is open. Thank you very much to the jury members. We know it was a hard decision. It's not that we didn't want to make it ourselves. It was a really hard decision. So thank you very much for choosing it. Thank you very much to all of you coming here, to all of you joining us online. It was a pleasure having you. There is a cocktail outside that you can join us. You can chat to the participants. You can chat to the management team. You can chat to each other. So once again, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Can the startups please stay so that we can have a group photo of all the Elevate startups and us? Misha, you too. Over there. Yes, the cars that you have are over there.